are expected to happen. So, congratulations if you've been waiting for the month of March to get here. Uh, it's been quite eventful, but there are a few updates on the conversations we had yesterday. We were just about yesterday. We were wondering what the problem was, as regards the petition in Kogi State calling for uh, Senator Natasha Udwahan to return back from the Senate. According to the stories and the information we have, uh, her constituents suddenly became really, really angry with her and became very dissatisfied with her representation in the Senate as soon as she made uh, an outrageous allegation against the Senate president, who is Godswill Akpabio. But the weird thing is that while all of the effort is being done to put this woman in a certain position, nobody wants to tell us what the truth is. Nobody wants to actually let us find out what the truth is, right? It's gone back and forth. A lot of people have called Senator Natasha's allegations baseless, said her accusations have no proof and stuff like that. And then at the same time, the same people expect due process. Listen, there's a power system at play, right? You set up a committee, you set up a system to check a sexual allegation at a place as serious as the Senate of a nation, a sovereignty like Nigeria. And the first thing that comes to mind is to set up a committee. And then the weirdest thing that happened during that initial stages of this allegation was that the Senate president himself was the one who presided the committee that was supposed to look into sexual allegations made against him. And from that moment onward, it was a down road trolley for this lady and her accusations. Now, most people have also argued that the natural thing to have done, if this was a clear case of the woman being stupid, a lot of people have called her all kinds of names. She's been given all kinds of names. And obviously, when you're being abused in Nigeria, you're not expected to talk about it because obviously you deserve to be put in a weird position if you don't play along with certain powers and certain rules. And it seems most Nigerians are okay and comfortable with such ideologies. It's a deeper problem. It's a deeper problem. This particular conversation I'm having with you this morning, it's a deeper conversation. It's a deeper phenomenon, whereby we believe that Wike can impose whatever authority he has on Fubara, despite breaking laws, despite endangering lives, properties, future plans of said communities, said state, said district. We don't mind playing because we need to exert a certain authority. And most people in our immediate environment happen to find these ideologies very, very very good. They say it's called loyalty. You're supposed to be loyal and play by the rules and play by the games. And so if systems are not challenged, if systems must be followed, if everything has to be by the books according to how we think it should go, then why are we complaining about injustice in our communities? Why do we complain that we're being disrespected with the things that are happening in front of us? Because yesterday, or rather on Tuesday, the INEC told us that the petition that was sent to recall Senator Natasha by the Kogi North Central, they said they don't want her anymore representing them. And over 24,000 petitions were sent to the INEC. And from what we know, the INEC refused the petitions, calling that they were incomplete. In fact, according to INEC, the petitions only had names and addresses that read Okene only. That's the report that the INEC had given. Then yesterday, I myself told you here on this program that the petitions had been said to be amended. Again, I did call on legal practitioners, and I called on legal professors. I called on people who were conversant with the law. I called on people who knew about the law, and I asked them, can a petition be amended? Because I'm thinking in my layman's head, how do you amend a petition? Did we gather all for 24,000 petitions and return them to people who had originally signed them and had them complete the informations that were omitted from the initial submission of the petition? This is a very important question. And as at this morning, the INEC is still processing the petition because, it has been amended and the amendment has been accepted by the INEC. And the recall of Senator Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan is happening right in front of us. Anyways, let's look into the stories this morning because there's so much that you need to learn. Right, because again, like they generally say, the injustice of one is the injustice of all. The silence when the corpse of another person's mother is being moved will not be experienced when one's mother's corpses are being moved as well. We must watch the way we are handling ourselves, the things we're feeding our minds, the things we're feeding our spirits as a nation, the things that we're doing. There are consequences to it, Anyways, from the Daily Post this morning, breaking news, constituents petition INEC and begin the process to recall Enugu Rep member Martins. Okay. Now, this is normal with us. Once a process proves to be very, very substantiate, it looks like it can work, it looks like it's doable, then it becomes a thing. Now, we're calling back representatives elected by the people. Legally elected representatives. It's now in trend. We have now begun to put processes to call them back in, even if the processes that are calling them back in are daylight fraudulent. Even if the processes were bright light fraudulent. That's the point. It's the downward tussle that we usually do as a society that usually panics me, that usually bothers me when we begin to churn out headlines like this. It's the way it continues to go down and becomes a thing. Next thing now, governors will begin to be removed from office by whatever means necessary. Now we're calling back senators, we're calling back House of Representative members. A lot of things are going on. And you're wondering how? Who's going to be next? Does it mean that when you disagree with authorities or when you kind of have an opinion that is different from what is generally expected of people in your position to do, does it mean that nobody gets to represent the people anymore? Does it mean that if you stand with the people, you have become an enemy of the state? If it's no longer a representation of the people, we might as well be told so that we can act right. But now that we are seeing people who might be trying to speak out in the interest of the people being held to, it's a general thing in Nigeria. How dare you want to be the good one? How dare you want to be the one with a different opinion? How dare you want things to be done differently? Why do you want a change in the system? You are expected to smile and do what you're asked to do, no matter how outrageously impossible it is, no matter how damning it is to your conscience, you are expected to do it. Because accordingly, as it is said, the game is the game. And then we want young people who are good. We want marriages that last. We want a community that is honest. But the game is the game. You got to do what you got to do. There are all kinds of things we steady keep repeating to ourselves. We repeat it to our children. We're repeating it to the young generation. We're not changing anything. We see the reward of good people around here. We see how the innocent are trampled upon here. We see how you come for people who want to speak the truth. At the same time, you want your communities, you want your states, you want your children, you want your future generation, you want the upcoming generation to kind of download this goodness from somewhere and begin to act it. When the elders in the community are sitting in their wrongdoings with pride, with audacity, they are not ashamed to put it out in the news. They are not afraid, they are not ashamed of the legacy that they are leaving behind. The brouhaha at the Senate, where Senator Abaribe and a few other senators who were trying, they've been trying for the canonization and immortalization of Humphrey Nwosu for the 1993 election that has been named the freest and fairest of all elections in the history of Nigeria. We've seen the reactions of us in the House. We have seen the agitations. A lot of things are happening here, and they are new every morning. You think that you've heard the worst of it, the next morning it gets even better. Anyways, no leakage of presidential communication to the Senate since 2023, says Godswill Akpabio, the Senate president. National grief. Nigerian government reminds 3 vandals of TCN facility in prison. Also, properties worth millions of naira destroyed as fire ravages residential building in Oyo State. All right, let's see if there are more things that we need to grab this morning. Earthquake strikes Myanmar and people fall off buildings in neighboring Thailand. Also, President Trump thanks Muslims at Iftar dinner at the White House. All right. Also in America, mind-blowing fraud. The U.S. government charged $1 billion for $10,000 online survey. This is coming from Elon Musk. All right, let's come back home and tell you that APC condemns Umahi for praising Soludo's infrastructural strides in Anambra State. Okay, he's coming under a lot of fire. Soludo's government is receiving a lot of microscopic views at the time, because I mean it's time for a re-election or an election, and it's time for the comparisons to be made. It's time to compare and contrast what he has done in office, his manifesto, his promises to the people of Anambra State. It's time to, you know, put them side by side and see how good he has done. That conversation is ongoing everywhere. It's on the internet as well. They're having these conversations all over the social media spaces. So you might want to drop your views and how much you have rated the Soludo administration since it began up until now. There's a general elections, a governorship elections in Anambra State come 8th of November 2025. Barely in 8 months. So preparations are underway. Campaigns are about to kick off. You know, a lot is about to happen in Anambra. But it's a lot of conversation. Is there really contenders? And what are the contenders' chances? And also, what is the appraisal of the Anambra State people towards Soludo's government as well? Putting all of this together will help the people of Anambra State to decide what is going to happen in their next election. All right, let's continue the story. Live from hell, Atiku's camp dismisses alleged connections with Sanwo-Olu. All right, don't forget that Ben Moray Bruce is also calling out Atiku Abubakar for the comments he made about the Senate president, when Atiku Abubakar in an interview said that everybody knows how the Senate president conducts himself, and everybody knows that he's a womanizer. And Ben Murray Bruce, former senator, has called out the former vice president and called his statements outrageous and outlandish, and has said that everybody knows that Senator Godswill Akpabio is as clean as a whistle. And this is me quoting him in his own very exact words. All right, crisis dipping in Zamfara APC as Minister Matawale faces allegations of fund mismanagement. Tinubu distorting democracy and weaponizing the judiciary. This is coming from the AD founding secretary, Udenta. All right, that's as good as it gets on the Daily Post this morning. Let's go elsewhere and check out what's going on this morning. The phone lines are officially open. Drop your comments, contributions, your analysis, explanations, questions, whatever it is that you have this morning about the stories that we are reviewing this morning. Join us. Call the studio lines. Join us live on YouTube at High Voltage News. Please do us a favor, like, subscribe, and share. And when you do call live into the studio, please, I beg of you to keep your comments clean, simple, and civil. We don't want to break any rules while we're trying to do the right thing. Let's hear what you think. Good morning.
Good morning.
Greetings to you. You're welcome. Your name and location, please.
This is Obadiah. I'm calling from Enugu.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Yeah, this year started from 2015.
Okay.
As soon as APC took over the leadership, the governance in this country, that's when it started. You remember, during Tinubu's time, Supreme Court ruled against the withholding of Lagos State
allocations, yes.
But under Tinubu now, the Supreme Court ruled in favor of withholding of River State allocation. You see, you can see it. So now there's total personalization of the judiciary. Yes, the highest bidder takes it all.
Oh dear.
There's absolute mayhem in this country. Anarchy is on the loose. I mean, it's on pro. It is total madness. And from 2015, that's when humans took over the leadership of this country. And up to now, in fact, 2023, we had a set of high-handed, terrible demons in charge.
Oh, okay. We're not going to be using the word demons, Mr. Obadiah. I know you're probably looking for a word to use to explain the level of recklessness that we're probably experiencing. But again, you're not allowed to use such words. Keep it simple, polite, and civil. You can express, trust me, you can express yourself without using those words. Good morning to you.
Good morning.
Greetings. You're welcome. You're very welcome.
Yeah, I don't know why the Senate stood down on remove this immortalization. I don't know, because what is good for the group is good for the gander. Even though I'm not an advocate of June 12. But if the government had recognized even Abiola the head or no,
well,
the vice head or no, nothing stopped the government from even going on executive bill, because they still declare June 12th as Democracy Day. They cancelled out the made to deny Obasanjo state and now put up for June 12th as Democracy Day. That will tell you how the government has taken June 12th today. And the architect of that June 12th is not being recognized. If you look at it in any serious match, look at maybe World Cup or whatever. If you give me down to the winner, if you give me down, it is official.
For participating,
so,
yes.
If the Senate say, okay, June 12th is does not hold water, automatically, for me, the issue of having Democracy Day on June 12th should not hold water. Because the issue of democracy, the ab initio is covered at even the Southwestern state. We are observing observing June 12 as public holiday before they now impose it in their nation on June 12. And the legality or otherwise of June 12 is still agreeable. But the cross is that if you give you a Biela recognition, if you give recognition all the recognition on earth, and across, there's nothing else for the government. Don't even recognize Humphrey also as a symbol of that June 12. So for me, and if for instance we now say that June Humphrey should not do it, that means all the architectural masterpiece surrounding June 12 should collapse. They will collapse. Because and I foresee a situation where subsequent governments may even stop this democracy day being held on June 12 because since the death of Obasanjo was equally stop. So for me, they should give her half reward his due cause, his recognition, if Abiola and Kingibe are equally recognized. Then on the issue of Natasha, my dear sister, the issue of recall is a very good bottom process. This is not the first time we are hearing about recall because it has happened some time ago and it crashed.
Are you aware of the processes that this particular recall is following?
Yeah, I have you. It's a very good process. I don't think INEC can. The people that are including the process, I learned Corporate Affairs Commission are saying that their names are not being registered in Corporate Affairs Commission. So it's a very difficult thing. INEC will not succeed in that. Nobody will remove Natasha. And the only grudge I have with her is if you say, some people are saying that the senior president is as clean as whistle, others are saying that he's a womanizer. That is not the issue. The issue is not whether you are seeing him as a womanizer or whether you are seeing him as clean as whistle. The issue is that what is it that Natasha is having against him?
Yeah, we are hoping that someone gives her a chance. Let's find out.
And let me tell you. As I said yesterday, we have many platforms. Even this platform we're using, it's a good platform for Natasha to express herself. There are many platforms. She can use to express herself. So it must not be in the same platform. But if there is any concrete, because people are saying, Fabio, you don't know. That is not the goal. That one is too elementary for me. Whether it's your classmate, whether it's your in-law, that is too elementary. The question is, what is the cross? What is the issue? Why is Natasha accusing about the she has to come out? And there are many platforms she can do that. This platform is one of the platforms. It doesn't have one platform she can do that. And not just stop dancing around. Let me rest my case. God bless you.
All right. Thank you very much for your opinions this morning. Phone lines are open. Drop your comments, contributions, what you think. Okay, so let me read you the INEC press release and I'll get back to taking your calls. Listen to this. This is an update on the recall process of the senator representing Kogi Central Senatorial District. Further to the statement issued yesterday, Tuesday, 25th of March, 2025, the Commission hereby confirms that the contact address of representatives of the petitioners, their telephone numbers, and email addresses have now been provided in a letter addressed to the chairman of the Commission dated today, Wednesday, 26th of March, 2025. As provided in the clause, the Commission's regulations and guidelines for Recall 2024, a letter has been written to notify the senator sought to be recalled about the receipts of the petition delivered to her official address. The same letter has been copied to the presiding officer of the Senate and published on the Commission's website. So the next step is to scrutinize the list of the signatories submitted by the petitioners to ascertain the petition is being signed by more than half, that is over 50% of the registered voters in the constituent. Now, this will be done in the coming days. The outcome, which will be made public, all right, shall determine the next step to be taken by the Commission. Now, according to the INEC, the rest of the information that was supposed to be in these over 24,000 petitions that had been collected to recall Senator Natasha had been replaced in a letter. That's the information that they didn't give or they weren't able to give in the original petition had been put in a letter. Of course, the INEC is saying that it had received this letter and it will continue to process the recall of Senator Natasha. Is this legal? Does this make sense, or is all of this a charade that is probably taking us somewhere else? It sounds simple like this, but after Senator Natasha, and this very bogus process, kind of works out, and this plays out. Let's assume this plays out because it's Senator Natasha. What happens when it's the senators that you actually like? The ones who don't call people out for sexual assault or call out people who do wrong things. How about when the ones you actually like begin to offend the people you also like? This is the problem. This is the problem that we have. We close our eyes where things are going bad. The way the Igbo man says that the elder sits at home and watches the goat give birth in her shackles. It does not make any sense how we watch these things repeat themselves over and over again. And somehow we stay confused as to why they are happening. I believe that we should consider ourselves and consider our actions better, because this petitions that were collected by 24 people is not amounting to the number of people that voted in Senator Natasha. Yes, the votes that led her into office are about 125,000 votes. And the petition to recall her are 25,000. 0706 048 5853, also 0915 570 8347. Good morning to you.
Hello, good morning.
Greetings to you. You're welcome.
Yeah, this is good. Yeah.
Oh, you're welcome.
Thank you. I will start from home to
Okay.
Case. This is why we condemn the reward system of Nigeria. This is where it starts. Those who do good in Nigeria, or those who put their life trying to put in place in Nigeria, are actually not rewarded according to their work or their effort. They are rather not treated right. But those who do the wrong thing are highly rewarded in Nigeria. That is why when we go through this national honors, when what's her name, what's this Igbo woman, I can't remember it was Buhari that wanted to, honor her when she received the national honor, and they said that she did that because of tribalism, which I do not believe, because the person honoring her is not no honor in Nigeria. So I don't think the reward system is anything to go by in Nigeria, because when you look at those people that are being honored in Nigeria and those that should be honored that are not honored, then you know that we have a very big problem when it comes to reward system in Nigeria.
I agree.
That is why the politicians are more paid than the teachers and the doctors and the security, and we're having this problem. And let me talk about this Natasha case about recall. We know the process about recalling her, and we know all that have been going on. The person who is pursuing this should not be the president.
Oh, I think I lost.
I think in Nigeria. Hello?
Are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, carry on.
Hello?
Yes, we can hear you.
Yeah, I said if the system of Nigeria was right, that person, we can still remember the Honorable Minister of your mind about the NNDP matter. That person shouldn't be in the position of the Senate President. He shouldn't be the President of the Senate today. That person should be in jail. So this is the person who we are clapping for. I'm sorry for Nigeria, we are not getting out of this problem soon, because those who are leading us are the worst of us. Those who should be leading us are left behind, they are kicked out. But those who are leading us are worst of us. And we are going to be saying the worst until we change those things. And we are not going to change those things through the ballot process, because they have hijacked the system. They are way easy.
Oh, Chinedu. All right. Thank you very much for calling. But I really, really appreciate your point of view, because you're hitting the nail right on the head. with your assertion there. Good morning.
Morning. This is Barrister Chukwemeka calling from Enugu here.
You're welcome, Barrister.
Okay, on the issue of the Senate and the recognition of Humphrey Moses for
yes.
June 12th. I mean, you see, it tells you how you can see that Nigeria is yet really to move as a nation that's still occupied and clouded with ethnics and religious sentiments. Can somebody convince us that if Nwosu is to be from other part of the country, would they have honored him even before now?
Long before now, probably.
Yes.
Perhaps.
Who happens to be the vice president to Abiola was honored for GCON, is it not?
True.
When he even abandoned that mandate and joined the military.
That's true.
You see?
That's true.
Good. Now, it was only when Buhari came in, now we know the difference, the problem between Buhari and Babangida. In order to get more sentiment, he decided to recognize June 12th March. And you see the after effect. Buhari had to write his own book saying he take responsibility of all what had happened. Now, looking at what transpired now in our subsequent elections and what Nwosu did, is that not enough to convince any reasonable patriotic Nigeria that Nwosu should be recognized? We have seen how INEC never allow our vote to count. But that election has been adjudged to be the best in the history of this nation. But yet, it is difficult for them to honor the person who took that brave action among all the intimidation and the arrest of the military. If he had played the bid of the military, nobody would have gotten those results, that except one state that was remaining. He knew that these people were about to stop the result. He let the results go. He allowed them to be posted. Before the military will know, it will only remain one single state. They did not value all those things. But we can recall our mind back from what INEC has been doing in other elections that we went, how they did with impunity. Never bothered to know that people's mandate is what they are playing with. Okay? So let's see how it pans out, because if Tinubu decides to do that, he doesn't need the approval of the National Assembly to honor the man at all. He can just get up, designate a particular institution or a particular house or a particular area as a Humphrey Mosu's area, and that's all. It's they should have seen.
I'm surprised that it's something that the Senate is discussing. I mean, we don't hear.
They don't need that. They don't need to do that in Senate.
It's very surprising.
I think even if they pass a resolution and the Tinubu decide to keep quiet, they can change it. So I just tell you, they don't have much things to do as with regards to our problem, as what we are facing. They are playing to the gallery, And on the issue of Natasha, I said it yesterday, federal government is into this thing. Watch how all these rigorous processes, how they will bypass it and remove her from Senate. Remember the comment of the First Lady when this thing started.
Of course,
said the Senate is a place of honor. And Natasha talking like as if it's from the market women, all this kind of which we cannot use here on media. But you see, the same INEC that playing back and forth, they will say one thing today, tomorrow they do another thing. It's telling you that there's an instruction somewhere coming to them, asking them to do this, to do that, and that's what they're doing. All these things will end up recalling which nobody has ever even done. I don't think if somebody has successfully been recalled from Nigerian
Barrister, this is where the question is. Now, we're watching this play out in broad daylight. We've seen the situation in Rivers State, right?
Yes.
He has installed a new secretary to the state. A lot is going on in Rivers. Now, we're seeing the recall of Natasha Akpoti. Now, at the succession at which these things are happening, do you think that this will end here, or are we about to see an unlock of this dimension that is being opened now?
Of course, this is they are a match to capture the entire state institutions and deal with whoever is not in line, not in their good book. They are trying to squeeze and make sure that nobody can even challenge them by 2027. That's what they're working on. Market. That we are yet to see anything, sir. But they are coming out with their plans because they knew if they allow Nigerians to go to poll and decide their fate, all of them will come back. They know that. You know, once it's in National Assembly, they are one who forget all this sentiment they are doing now. You see the people that came through Labour, that many Nigerians voted, believing that we have been an alternative. You see so many of them are decamping to Labour, going back to APC, where they think it will be easier for them to come back for their second tenure or third tenure. That tells you the ideology of political ideology is no longer there. They're only going there to have their own share of the national cake.
Sadly.
And that's where they kept us where we are today. Civil servants, major people that are working are being suppressed to death. I mean, this is not how a nation excel. They're not thinking of how do we change this type of government, this presidential system of government that is so expensive. Looking at India, looking at Pakistan, looking at Japan, looking at Indonesia. These people are parliamentary. Where nobody controls this kind of absolute power. If it is a parliamentary system, Tinubu cannot do what he did in River State. He cannot do that. And even Akpabio, they couldn't have even, Natasha couldn't have gotten into this problem because
have you heard about
the power? It reduces the power of the president.
Have you heard about the plans that the Senate has to install a prime minister? Have you heard about it?
Yes, some of them were and some members from REP, they were advocating for that parliamentary system. But let's see whether this man will accept it. You know, you see one thing with our people. Once they're in power, they don't accept other suggestions. But once they're out of power, they begin to see the need for those suggestions known to them at the time they were in power. Will this president accept to give us a parliamentary system of government? He will not, because it will weigh down his powers. It will weigh down the party, even his own party. They will be struggling to have some members in the seats. And you know the process and how the prime minister will be elected within the party, who has the majority and all that. And if not, they'll go into coalition. In that case, if the economy is not good, the other one can quit the government and any election will be called. So that would have been the better opportunity, better for us to checkmate ourselves and our institutions. But I cry, my heart bleeds in all these things because the end point should have been the court. It is only the court that has the power to trash all these shenanigans. But you see, the court itself is helpless. The place they find themselves is a wrong foundation made long before now. This is the effect of it.
All right,
they decide on the matter that brought before them, rather they go on instruction given to them, but whoever dictates, he pays the part dictate the tune.
True.
This is a very bad situation we are seeing ourselves here in Nigeria. And I'm telling you, if this continue, you know one thing, the thing is that these politicians will collapse this democracy among themselves. You see, Fire is out of this game now. So no other person is out of game. By the time they will come back for re-election, you see how they will destroy the entire process because they knew what they do, and they will not allow the other party to shortchange them. You know, and that would be a very bad signal. Democracy should have been the best for us. But what we are seeing today, I make somebody like me to think otherwise. Where rule of us should not be supreme.
All right, Barrister, let's let others call to join us as well. Thank you very much. I appreciate. Thank you. It's your passion. I appreciate that all the time, because if you are a well-meaning Nigerian, as we popularly say, then these things would concern you. These things would bother you. And while we're making this, even the Vice President has made his own observations of what's happening in the country. According to Vice President Kashim Shettima, he has alleged that the nation's judiciary is facing some kind of blackmail. Let me repeat, from the Daily Post this morning, the Vice President Kashim Shettima has alleged that the nation's judiciary is facing some sort of blackmail. Let's hear what you think. Good morning.
Good morning.
You're very welcome. You're welcome.
Yeah, my name is Charles, calling from Enugu.
You're welcome, Charles.
Yeah, thank you so much. It's just very disheartening and a thing of shame to the entire nation that this Natasha issue has been treated this way. I mean, it's been said from day one that she needs to be have her mind, and she needs to air her mind and her view. Let's give her a chance for her to prove what she alleged on the Senate president. And he said it all just like his earlier said, and nothing has been done about it, only for them to recall her back. Washington has consented very effectively and actively, not just if not for this incident, and they want to recall her back. It's just a shameful thing that we, the young ones, going on, we can't.
Maybe good morning.
Greetings to you.
Justice from Abba.
You're welcome, Justice.
Maybe it's where does on where's it come from?
I don't know this question that you're asking me like.
One is from Anambra State.
Yes.
And what has Anambra State government? What have they done for him?
That's the Anambra State government itself.
Yes.
And not that we have heard if anything has happened yet.
And see our problem.
Tell me.
We always look up. We don't look down.
Okay.
Why should we be blaming the federal government for not immortalizing him? What has his own done to him? I was very little when they were announcing that result on that day because my father is an educationist. So we were keenly watching on the television set that day. And I saw he was announcing that result. All of a sudden, soldiers came into that street and they whisked him away.
That's right.
And that was the end of that announcement. I was a witness. I think I knew everything that happened then because I told you one day we were in school. We were in school. And tell me, you are the one that they are calling. You see the level of. We are just saying those things was free and fair. But as a young boy, then I voted.
And it wasn't free and fair.
It wasn't that like that. Let us be frank. I knew they came to school, they pack us from school, they changed us, they give us clothes, we wear clothes. We went to one primary school.
You experienced this yourself.
I'm just telling you honestly.
So why do we keep talking like, there's this big hope? Where do we keep the hope that things are going to work out here? Where do we get it from? Where do you think that we're getting that
this thing didn't start till now. I can remember then they gave us 55 naira. Then they gave us 55 naira then. They brought out it was a private car. They were dropping us. These people will vote, we come back. That was all they did us then. And I voted there. I don't know the name they gave me. I know my name. They were calling that name. I didn't.
All right, we need to round off because I don't have a lot of time anymore.
It was option A4 then. Let me tell you, we must stop looking up. We must look down.
We must look down.
We must look down. Let us look down and stop blaming Tinubu. We can't blame Tinubu when your own has not done anything. Good morning.
Good morning to you. Thank you very much. Because this is where we will be, on this note. Maybe one more call that would last maybe a minute, just 1 minute. Let's just hear it, just for 1 minute. Good morning.
Morning. Sorry, we have to put the record straight. This is Barrister Baker. It was the option A4. We didn't give it. I think we must be talking about subsequent election after that option A4. And the motion to be motorized in Anambra, he went for national assignment. And that's why we are demanding for national honor to him, not state assignment, and not a regional assignment. Okay. Should be honored.
National honor.
And some of them. It's a national assignment and not a state assignment. Anambra State government has nothing to do for. He has nothing to offer to him as a state.
Okay.
In the states.
Okay.
It's a national assignment.
But there's something else he was saying about the top elites around here also not getting involved in conversations like this, and he has a point.
Yes, he made a point there, and that is why a non-state actor, people could rally around the non-state actor, take instruction on sit at home and do other things, because our people will be feeling so marginalized that nobody's there speaking for us. The senators, they made the stage workout.
Oh, I'm sorry, Barrister. I have to let you go because of time. But, the hush-hush conversation around the Igbo nation, around the Igbo people, around Ala Igbo, and the way we have conducted ourselves over the years is the reason why a lot of young people are coming together with the Make Ala Igbo Great once again. Go to social media, go on the internet, and type Make Ala Igbo Great Again. Join all the platforms. Become a part of making Igbo land or making Ala Igbo significant. We're trying to build something here because we realize that beauty and charity begins at home. I appreciate all of you who are sending in your comments and calling and joining your voices, joining forces, and trying to, have this very, very difficult conversation about being better, but it has to be had. And the Igbos, I want to encourage you to love yourselves more. I want to encourage you to invest in yourselves more. I want to encourage you to be more brotherly conscious. Maybe we can do for ourselves mostly the things that we want for others to do for us. The recognition we seek to gain from others, we can begin to give it to ourselves. And it cuts across all sections, all sectors, from our politics to the entertainment, to hospitality, to capitalism, to everything. So I want to leave you this morning with the plea for just consideration. I'm not asking you to love anybody today. I'm not asking you to do anything for anybody today. Just while you're conducting your business, going about your day, just be a little more considerate. First to yourself, and then try to be considerate to your neighbors and the people around you too. Maybe you might have a better day than you probably would have. My name is Mavis Atudube. Try to join us on YouTube at High Voltage News. Comes to you weekdays, Mondays through Fridays, 9 a.m. till 10. Have a beautiful morning.